One of the sets of crises that we have been anticipating is when coronavirus begins to run rampant through detention facilities. We've already seen that Rikers has an explosion of cases. More than 3% of the individuals currently locked up are apparently infected with coronavirus. But any number of ICE detention facilities are also potential grounds for big spreads of this. And The Intercept did a great job in doing sort of a video chat with a number of women who were being held in one of these ICE detention facilities in Louisiana. And with that video, they were able to tell the story of what's happening to them in a format that has become quite popular during the coronavirus. So take a look at some of this video. So around that time, the video gets broken up by guards who take away the signs and stop them from communicating in that way. But they're doing what they can to get the story out. That they're very worried that they might have already been exposed. That the ICE agents working there aren't taking it seriously. We've heard many reports of areas that are not being sanitized. That there's very limited access to even soap, let alone anything stronger than that. And so if I were one of these women, I would be absolutely terrified about what would happen if it turns out that it was coronavirus and that other people might have been exposed to it.
Yeah, I mean, this is ICE is just a group of jackbooted thugs, like just Trump's brown shirt brigade. The way they treat undocumented people is so inhumane and callous and archaic. It's reprehensible to think about that this is something that we allow willingly in our country. My heart goes out to people who are in these situations because 99.999% of them who try to come here or are seeking refuge from violence, from cartel violence, from spousal abuse. They are here because they want a better life. They pose us no harm, no threat. They just want to be part of our country and contribute as best they can. And now, in a time of global crisis, they're treated like subhuman. They are treated like dirt, and it's truly grotesque. This is something that I feared, many people feared, as this started to bubble up, as the pandemic started to grow, because you knew incarcerated people and undocumented people were going to be the last to receive care or be treated well. And I think this is truly this is a dark spot on our country right now. That this is something that people are turning a blind eye to. We have to be vigilant. We have to treat them as equal, as full human citizens, and just treat them with dignity, love, and respect.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I remember this is probably about a week and a half ago when one of the efforts that some, I believe it was governors at that point, were taking was releasing some people from prison or being like the temporarily lockup. Like if they were there, they couldn't pay their bail or whatever, releasing them so that you would alleviate some of the overcrowding. And I remember people like Tommy Lauren attacking that, saying like that it's ridiculous that at this time we're going to be like they want to see these people packed in there. Like anytime anyone advocates for them to save their lives, to extend the vote to them, Bernie Sanders got attacked for that last year. The idea is no, they have trespassed and they have no rights whatsoever. Any suffering that they have to deal with, that was their choice when they broke the law, however unjust that law might be. And now Like, hypothetically, we're still at the beginning of this. We could help these people, but it doesn't look like that help is going to come. I don't remember a lot of discussion during, in the Senate about how we're going to protect these people, especially when, like, this facility where the women were run by a GEO Group, Private Prison Corporation. So if they can protect these women and make less money doing it, is that something that they're going to do? Nothing about the GEO Group, from my experience, leads me to believe that they're going to do that. And so, like, people are going to die as a result of this. They're going to get sick. Some are going to die. We're not necessarily even going to know because we think that they're shipping massive amounts of coronavirus testing kits to these places. Like, people are going to die of this sickness, and they're never even going to be added to the numbers. Their story is being silenced right now, but even the tragedy that befell them will be silenced in the end.
Right, and it's important that people like you and this show, and people like The Intercept, and even Ken Klippenstein at The Nation has been doing a great job on this as well. For independent reporters and progressive reporters to follow this story the entire way, because, like you say, they will absolutely be erased. So we cannot let that happen, because their life matters, their experiences matters. Like, we cannot ignore them. They have to be treated with dignity. This is so inhumane. We're seeing the tests, rich people like celebrities, politicians, athletes, they were getting tests like weeks ago when no one else could get a test. People who weren't showing symptoms but were wealthy were getting tests. And if me, the American citizen, can't get a test, you can't get a test, they're definitely people, undocumented people in ICE custody are absolutely not getting tests. So this cramping them in there, obviously defies CDC guidelines. It would incubate and expedite the spread if someone were to be infected. This is extremely dangerous, and like you say, lives could be lost as a result.
Exactly. Yeah, and I feel like if we found out that, like, Gavin Newsom said, we're going to take 10,000 tests and we're going to make it available to these prisons to limit the spread. Like, imagine how they would be attacked. Probably by Trump as well. He would use, 5 minutes at one of his press conferences to attack them for wasting tests on prisoners. I have a feeling he would do that. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.